All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Deal Heal Fulfill community. Welcome everyone this morning. It is Thursday, January 23rd, 2025. And I am grateful that you guys are here with me this morning. Grateful for everyone that has tuned in. Again, welcome to the community. Welcome to the Deal Heal Fulfill community. We are a community of people who are coming together to support one another as we go on this healing journey that we're on, as well as our journey to fulfill the purposes that we have in our lives, the purpose that God has given each and every one of us. And so we are blessed to be here to see another day. Good morning again. Do me a favor. First of all, I want to do me a favor, hit that invite button and invite your suggested friends. Facebook will get you a good 10 friends. I think they usually start with 10 friends in your suggested friends box to send out an invitation to. So make sure you guys send out that invitation to your suggested friends, or send it to anyone who you think may find value in being a part of this community. Not only find value or get value, but also bring value to the community. We have some amazing people here, as we have been able to see so far. And again, this is our community, not just my community. I want all of us to grow together and to support each other as we all are on this journey. So make sure that you invite some of your friends. Also, to all those who have been invited that are here now, welcome. We are growing. Just a couple weeks ago, when I started being more active here and started to actively trying to grow, we were at 100, right around 100 and something members. Now we are over 500 and growing. 500 and growing. So thank you guys who have invited people to be a part of the community. Thank you for those who are going to invite people. Just take a moment again, hit that invite button right now while you're watching. Thank you guys who's watching the replay. I used to do this at 9 o'clock, and sometimes I do a Meet the Community interview at 12 for those who want to be interviewed. To be introduced to the community. We'll talk about that a little later. But I do those at 12 o'clock just to make it a little better for those who couldn't log in at 12. But I do these lives at 9 o'clock in the morning, and so everyone is not, some may not even be up, or some may be already at work, and so they can't watch it till later. So if you're watching it later, welcome. Welcome to the replay. Right, I appreciate you guys for watching. So yes, all of our new members, make sure that you guys are going to the featured section for the new members. Inside the featured section, there is a post where you can click and you guys can sign up for your free gift. There's a free gift for all new members or current members who haven't filled out the form yet. Make sure that you fill out the form so that you can get your free gift. Also, Meet the Community interviews. Again, I talked about we do these at 9. We do this live at 9 o'clock, and sometimes we do have people who sign up to do the interview at 9 o'clock, and then we do them at 12 o'clock on some days for those who are only able to do at 12 o'clock. And the reason why we do that is so to make things better for you, but also I want you to introduce the amazing people that we have in this community to the community, because we are amazing. And I know you're amazing, but everyone else don't know you're amazing because they don't know that you're here, or they don't know what you do. So we do the Meet the Community interviews in order to introduce the community to the community. So make sure you guys are signing up for that resource, signing up to be able to take part of that Meet the Community Mondays. Of course, yesterday was podcast release day for the Deal to Heal with E. James podcast. Which was Wednesday. Of course, all our episodes for the Deal to Heal with E. James podcast come out on Wednesdays. So make sure that you guys are checking that out, right? Checking out our podcast. Also, make sure that you guys go to YouTube and subscribe to our podcast channel, right? So we have the Deal to Heal Podcasting Network channel on YouTube. Make sure that you guys go there and subscribe, because we have our Girl Dad Discussions podcast there, which is our podcast where we talk to other girl dads like myself, and sometimes even daughters, about the relationship, the daddy-daughter relationship that they have, in order to combat the narrative of the absent father and the fatherless daughter. Those episodes are there, as well as the Deal to Heal with E. James podcast is there as well. There's also 2 other podcasts. There's a podcast that I started with my brother called the Earn and Earth podcast is there. You guys can check out those. But there is also the Faith Walk Love Talk podcast, which is a podcast that my sister has been doing. It's a Bible study podcast, and I'll post the latest one. I think they come out every Tuesday, so I will post or repost the latest one in the community so you guys can check it out. But she does it every Tuesday, and she's been doing it for 3 or 4 years now, going strong with her Bible study. And so, yes, I want you guys to check that out. So I will put that in the descriptions as well. But yeah, so when you go to the Deal to Heal Podcasting Network, you will find the Deal to Heal with E. James podcast, as well as the Girl Dad Discussions podcast. So make sure you guys are checking those out. Make sure you check out our books and resources. We're always adding amazing books to our resources. I think at some point we probably will start a book club where we actually read some of the books together. But until then, definitely check out our books and resources in the guides tab. Speaking of guides tab, there is several guides that I have available already, or that we have available to us. One guide for entrepreneurship, one for being a speaker, one called Books to Grow On, where there's all our books that we promote, as well as what is the last one? I think the last one is to be a podcaster, to start a podcast. That is also there. So make sure you guys are checking those out, right? So today, what I want to talk about is gratitude, right? And so I got up this morning and I really was kind of feeling it in my spirit, what I wanted to talk about, and I just had a feeling of gratitude. And so I'm a still a word from my man Kevin Ferguson. Mr. Great Day is his name, and what his moniker is, it's a great day because it's always a great day, you know. And so I woke up this morning just in the space of really feeling that today's going to be a good day. You know, not that tomorrow, not that yesterday wasn't. Yesterday was definitely a good day as well, because we're here to see it, first of all, you know, but really feeling gratitude today. And I was just kind of thinking like, okay, in this space of gratitude, what am I thankful for, right? And so I just was kind of going through some different things. I know when I start my morning, really getting into my morning routine, I have a list of affirmations that I kind of go through, you know, to get my day started. But some of those come from my actual morning prayer, right? And I would say most of my affirmations come from my actual morning prayer that I would pray every morning when I get up. And so just really getting up this morning and really feeling gratitude in my heart, and wanting to start with gratitude and encourage us to start with gratitude, right? When we get up in the morning, a lot of times we get up and we just get right into our day. But taking a couple minutes, taking a couple seconds to give gratitude, to be thankful, to say a prayer before we get our day started, right? I think that's really important for us because number one, it does something for us as humans, but then number two, it also connects us, you know, with God, and to give gratitude and thankfulness for the blessings that we already have, that we have already experienced in our lives as we go into this new day, right? And so I always like to start with gratitude. Thank God for waking me up this morning. Thankful for my senses. So I'm gonna get into this a little bit, right? So we're talking about gratitude and gratefulness, and I want to hit just a couple topics, or should I say, couple areas where I want us to be mindful in our gratitude, right? Because a lot of times we say we're thankful, right? And then we can't really even name the things that we're thankful for. We're just like, well, I'm thankful. I got gratitude. Really? For what? Because we haven't actually sat down and really thought about what do I have to be grateful for. And that's why a lot of times it's hard for some people to be grateful in their lives because they haven't actually taken the time to sit down and consider what they have to be thankful for, what they have to have gratitude for, right? And so I want to start off this morning. First of all, let's just start with our health, right? We woke up this morning. That is a blessing that a lot of people didn't get. I don't watch the news because it's really just depressing. But if you're a person that watched the news, how many times did you hear every single day about some people passing away? How many times have you heard about someone being murdered? How many times have you heard of just someone, especially even on social media, like it's always someone passing, which is a natural thing in life. Like we live, we die. Once we're born, one day closer, 1 minute closer to the day that we're going to pass away. But while we're here, why not be thankful for the fact that we're here, right? We woke up this morning, and some of us woke up without an alarm clock, just by automatically waking up because you've been waking up at a certain time. But we can't take that for granted. Some of us woke up with an alarm clock, but yet and still we can't take that for granted that we actually woke up, right? So number one, be grateful for just waking up. Just being able to open up your eyes and see another day, because a lot of people closed their eyes last night and didn't open them up again this morning. So being grateful for that. Not only that, being grateful for your 5 senses, right? When you wake up and you can see, you can hear, you can taste, you know what I'm saying? You can smell. Being able to take in all of the things around you through your senses, right? Even as you go through your day. Right now, it's cold. Right, it's cold in Chicago, but you have the senses that you can feel that, right? You can walk outside and tell, okay, yes, it's cold today. You can walk outside and smell, if something's not right or something's in the air, or just get out and smell the crisp of the air, right? Because we have those senses. We can see the snow, right? We come outside, everything is covered in white, which is and how it looks in Chicago when it snows. Everything is white when you come outside, but you can see that. Right? That's a blessing within itself, that you have all of your senses to be able to take in everything that's going on around you, to be able to see the snow, to be able to feel the coldness on your face, right? Even if you don't want to feel it, but you can feel it, right? You have the opportunity to feel what's going on, right? So just having your senses, all 5 of your senses, to be able to feel the snow, to make a snowman, to make a snowball, to clean the snow off your car. You know what I'm saying? You can feel it with your hands, and that's a blessing just to have all of your senses, right? So let us be grateful for having our senses, and then let us be grateful for every breath that we take. I read an article not long ago. I can't remember exactly where I read it from. And the article was talking about us breathing and how a lot of us don't even breathe correctly. It's like we really breathe too fast for our bodies, and we don't give our bodies enough time to really, I'm going to say digest, if that's the word, but digest the air that we're taking in, to really, the oxygen, be able to take the oxygen in, the oxygen actually to go to all the places in your body that it needs to go. But because we breathe so fast, we just in and out, breathing in and out, we don't actually allow our body to adjust and to, take in all the nourishment that it should take from the air that we're breathing in. So do me a favor, there's a practice. You take in a real deep breath, and you hold that deep breath for a couple seconds, right? In order to just allow your body to take that air in, take that air into your lungs, and just relax, right? Because again, we are grateful for the breaths that we take. So do this with me real quickly. We're just gonna do it 3 times. Take 3 deep breaths, one at a time, of course. take a deep breath. We're going to hold it for a couple seconds, and then we're going to release it. We're going to do that 3 times. All right. So let's take in that breath. And then release it. So we're going to do that 2 more times. Taking a deep breath. And then release it. One more time, taking a deep breath. And then release it. All right. Just taking in those deep breaths, right? And being thankful. Again, thankful, grateful that we can take a breath, that we do have the opportunity to breathe again, right? To take those breaths. So being grateful for every breath that we take, because for every breath that we took, somebody's taking their last breath, right? So when every time we're able to take a deep breath and let it out and then follow it by another one, that's a blessing, right? So let's be grateful for our blessings. And lastly, still in the space of health, being grateful for our health, let's be grateful that we are woke up in our right mind. In this, not community, but in this climate that we're in, there's so much going on, so much dealing with mental health, so much dealing with, how we feel every day, that a lot of times we take for granted just to be able to be woken up, to wake up in our right mind, right? Having been a person that has dealt with depression, having been a person that has dealt with suicidal ideations myself, have been a person that has dealt with a lot of things, dealing with the death of my mom, right? So a lot of things, a lot of emotions that affects you as a person, that affects you mentally. So for us to be able to wake up in the morning and be able to just be in our right mind, that is a blessing. To wake up in the morning and not be stressed out. Our days are stressful. We do have stress at work. We do have stress with the kids. We do have stress with the family, just in our day-to-day with things that we're doing. But that stress, when that stress is hasn't overtaken us to the point that we're feeling some type of way, we're feeling, depression and, like I said, suicidal ideations because of situations that we can't control. We're just able to wake up and be in our right mind and be happy with that and acknowledge that and be grateful for that. We want to make sure that we're taking out that time just to be like, you know what? I was able to wake up and actually think about putting on my shoes. I was able to wake up and actually go to my closet and say, what do I want to wear today? I was actually able to wake up and have the thought of mind of how am I going to operate during this day? What is going to happen during this day, right? How am I going to carry myself throughout this day? And that actually being at top of mind and being able to be in your right mind to clearly think about those things that, again, we often take for granted, right? So again, we're talking about being grateful today, right? We're talking about waking up and being grateful and thankful, and just showing gratitude at the very beginning of our day. And we're talking about health. So in the area of health, what are we going to be thankful for? Thankful for waking up, right? Thankful for having our 5 senses. Thankful for the breath that we're breathing. Thankful for waking up in our right mind. All of these things we want to be thankful and grateful for in our day as we're beginning to start our day in the areas of health. And of course, there's more that we can be thankful for, but that's what we're thinking of, or at least that's what the things that was on the top of mind for me today, just in the area of health, right? And so work, when we think about work, a lot of times we have a love and hate relationship for our work, right? Sometimes, because a lot of times we don't want to go, right? Some of us like our jobs, some of us don't like our jobs, but we have to be grateful that we have a job, right? We have to be grateful that we have means of supporting ourselves, even if a lot of times it's not as much as we want. We don't make as much as we want. We're not able to do as much as we want financially with the jobs that we have, but yet and still being grateful that we have it, being grateful that we have a way to support ourselves, to support our families, to try to get some of the things that we want, even if we have to save up to get it. We're in a space of gratefulness, You know what I mean? So I want us to be grateful for our jobs, for just having a job, having the means to be able to support yourself on some level. Again, I do know that a lot of times we don't make the money that we want to make, and we don't, financially can't do everything that we want to do, but still being grateful for the opportunity that we have, because we're here in America. I'm in America, right? So even with not having enough and maybe not being able to achieve all our financial goals that we want to achieve, or fulfill the things on our job that we want to achieve in whatever time period that we're trying to achieve it, just the fact that we're here in America and have the opportunity that a lot of people don't have in other countries, right? Some people in other countries, in other spaces, don't have the opportunity to wake up and say, I'm going to go to work, right? They wake up and there is no work for them to go to. There is no job, and so they're struggling in order just to support themselves. So I want us to always be thinking about these things, to be grateful, right? Be grateful for the job that we have. Be grateful for the fact that we can support ourselves. Also, be grateful for the fact that we have a means for us to pursue our dreams, right? So as an entrepreneur, as a budding entrepreneur myself, one of the things that I was taught early is that your job is your first investor, financial investor to your dreams, right? You want to start a business, you want to write a book, you want to start your own clothing line, whatever those things is that you want to do personally, it takes finances a lot of times, in most places, most times, to get things started. And even if it doesn't take finances to start it, it's going to take finances to grow it, right? And so in the beginning of any entrepreneurship journey, finances and capital to get started is one of your biggest hurdles. And that's where your job comes in. Your 9 to 5, whatever those hours, those 12-hour shifts, like I work sometimes, those shifts allow you to do the things that you want to do, to allow you some finances that you may have to take and set aside that to put towards your dream. So your job is your first investor, right? They are the first investor of your dreams. And so even if you don't necessarily care for the job that you have, even if you don't care for the people at the job, or whatever hangups that you have with the job that you have, if you have a dream and you recognize that your job is your first financial investor, change your mindset of how you're looking at that, right? Change your mindset of how you're looking at your job. Like, even though you may not like it, you know what? I'm going to be appreciative because this is my first financial, I often say financial advisor, but my first financial person that's putting money in, investor, that's the word I was saying. My job is my first financial investor toward my dreams. So let me change the way I'm looking at it. Let me show up differently. Let me show up in a way that I'm appreciative, and I'm going to put in the work that I need to put in on this job and do my best, because it's not just about this job, but it's about the investment that I'm able to make into my dreams, into the things that I want to pursue because of my job, right? And so also when we think about our jobs and we think about work, right? Especially as being entrepreneurs and those of us who are starting our own businesses, starting our own movement, we have to show gratitude for the work that we do, right? And so this could be at your job, or it could be, your side hustle, your side thing that you're building on your own. But your work gives you direction and it gives you purpose. What is the purpose that I'm doing this work for? What am I trying to achieve? Who am I trying to help outside of myself, right? And a lot of people don't understand when it comes to business and even fulfillment, one's own fulfillment, you get the most fulfillment for yourself when you help someone else, right? Service, any kind of service, but service to others is the most clear way for fulfillment, and it's also the most clear way to build a successful business, right? So if you really look at any business, any successful business, the way that the business is being successful is because it's serving people in some way. If you think about McDonald's serves food to people quickly, right? It's called fast food, right? So we're always on the move. They serve people by being able to get them food quickly. You think about Walmart serves people by putting a lot of things that you need in one place and at a lower price, right? Which is why Walmart is so big. It's serving people, get them what they want quickly, and I won't say cheaply, but quickly and at a low cost, right? So anything that you can think of, any industry at its core is serving people in some way. And so when you start looking at your work, right, whether it's your work at your job, how do you serve people at your job, or how do you serve people in the work that you are doing for yourself, in the pursuing of your own dreams, it gives you direction and purpose, and we have to be grateful for that. Lastly, you want to be grateful for the people on your team. So when you meet people at work, your co-workers, your tradesmen, the other tradesmen, right? I'm a bricklayer myself, and so we work in construction. So there's different trades. Be grateful for your teammates, your workmates, your co-workers, the people that you meet on the job that add value to your lives. Because the thing is, we really spend more time with our work family than we do with our actual family, right? We spend more time with our work family than we do with our actual family. So we are to be grateful for those people that we find in our work family, that's a part of our work family, that builds us up, right? That strengthens us, that we have these relationships with, that have value, right? We want to be grateful for that, right? So in our areas of work, we talked about, being grateful that you have means to support yourself and your family. We talked about being grateful for the opportunity to pursue your dreams, right? Because you have that financial investor in your work, in the work that you do, in your job. We talked about being grateful for direction and purpose, right? And then we also talked about being grateful for your coworkers, your other team members, those who are helping you to pursue whatever thing that you guys are working toward, whatever the direction and purpose that you're working for on your job, being grateful for those people around you. And so I want to dive a little bit deeper into people, right? Because we talked about health, we talked about work, but we want to make sure we're also talking about being grateful for the people in our lives, starting with our families, right? Starting with our families. And sometimes families can be difficult, right? Sometimes we got a great family and everything is cool, but then sometimes we got dysfunctional families, right? But yet and still being grateful for our families, being grateful for our parents, being grateful for those mentors and father figures and mother figures that are in our lives, our grandparents, some of us being raised by grandparents and not our actual parents. Some of us are being raised by step parents. All of these different people that make up our families. We want to be grateful for that. We want to be grateful for our loved ones. Grateful for those who have siblings, because everyone doesn't have siblings, right? Some people are only have been an only child, but being able to have that family, whatever that looks like, whatever that dynamic looks like, and being grateful for it. So not only being grateful for your family when we're talking about people, but being grateful for everyone whom you have allowed to be a part of your journey. Everyone who you have allowed to be a part of your life. My circle is continually growing, and I'm continually meeting people, especially since starting this community and being active in it once again, and really trying to grow it. Meeting so many different people, right? So many people whose journeys align with mine, whose vision aligns with mine, and finding like there's this whole community of people that's like-minded, that's all headed in the direction that I'm headed in. And sometimes we feel like we're the only ones, that's trying to do different things. It's like we're out here on the island by ourselves. But when we're able to find our tribe, when we're able to find our community in the spaces that we occupy, then we realize how much, like, man, this totally makes a difference with the people that we allow in our lives, right? So definitely being grateful for the people that we allow in, but also being grateful for the people who walk away. So this one can be hard sometimes because a lot of times we want people to stay in our lives, but there's a reason and a season for everything. And sometimes there's a reason and a season for a person to come into your life, right? You thought they was here to stay, but they're only here for a season. They're only here to help you get through a certain part of your life, a certain time in your life. And then it's time for them to go, and that's okay, right? So we think about the changing of the seasons, and I've talked earlier about the snow here in Chicago. It's cold, but it's also the winter season. And as being part of the winter season, that's a part of it. The snow comes as part of it, but the snow doesn't stay to the summer, right? The snow stays during the season in which it is meant to stay. And then when we go into the next, we go into the spring, then the rain comes, then we go into the summer, then the sun comes. All of those things are at a season that they come into your life. So just as we go through the year with the seasons, we also go through our lives in seasons. So people come into your life for a reason and for a season. And sometimes that reason outlasts the season, right? And so you may meet someone during a time period, and I'll take myself for example. When I was going through my depression and dealing with my own suicidal ideations and those things that I was going through at that time, there were some people that came into my life during that season, right, to uplift me, to encourage me, to help me to regain my strength and love for life and learn to live again. And once I got out of that season of depression, right, so I'm finished that season, but some of those people are still in my life today. So they came in for a season, but they still stayed long after that season for whatever reason that they are still here to be a part of my life. And so we want to be grateful. We want to be grateful for the people that come into our lives, but also, again, be grateful for those that leave, because that means their season is over. And there's one thing that you don't want to do is to hold on to something or someone that was relevant in one season and carry them over into a season in which they are not relevant. And now you're putting yourself and them into a position that they weren't meant to be in, right? And so we'll go back to the cold, talking about the snow, right? So in the winter, we wear big, heavy coats, we wear boots, in order to be able to walk in the snow, in order to stay warm. But once the summertime comes, we shouldn't still be wearing big, heavy coats, right? We still shouldn't be wearing winter boots in the summer, because those were meant to protect us in a season. And when we carried them over into another season, the thing that was meant to protect us may now begin to hurt us, right? Because now we're too hot. Now the sun's out, it's warm, everybody's, taking his clothes off, we got short sleeves on, and you're still walking around with sweaters and a scarf and a heavy jacket. You've carried something out of a season into another season when it was meant to stay into the season that it was in, right? And that same thing is with the people in our lives. There is a season that people comes into our lives. Once that season is over, we have to be okay with letting them go. We have to be okay with letting them walk away if that's what they choose to do. If that season is over and it's time for them to move on, we got to be grateful for the season that we had them. Be grateful for the time that they invested in us, the time that they supported us, the time that they were there for us in our lives during the season in which they were meant to be. But when that season changes and it's time for them to walk away and it's time for them to leave, and it's not always in a bad thing, right? It's not always a bad way. One thing that I had to learn is, and I'll say this way, sometimes it takes separation before elevation, right? So sometimes there are some people and some things that you have to leave on this level in order to go to the next level, right? And so I'll give you a quick example. As me with being a bricklayer, right, working in the construction field, one of the things we're always told and always instructed is don't carry tools up a ladder, right? So we got hammers and chisels and all kind of stuff that sometimes you have to carry. And they always say don't carry it up a ladder, right? Because you want your hands to be free, to be able to hold on, to be safe. We can always pull those up later, pull the tools up later. And that's what they do sometimes. We put all our tools in a bucket, or on a pallet or something, and they might lift it up to the next level that we're working on, right? To the next floor, but we can't carry it up. So in order for us to get to the next level, there's some things we have to leave down at the lower level as we ascend, right? And so just like that in our lives, there are some people, there are some things that we may have to leave at the lower level in order for us to get to that next level. And once we get to that next level and become successful on that level, just like we do our tools in the trade, we can always pull those people up at that time. We can always pull those things up at that time, right? So separation sometimes comes before elevation. So if there are some people that you have to leave on a lower level in order for you to get to that next level, that's okay. It's just a part of the process, right? It's just a part of your growth, right? And just a part of the season that you are in your life. There are going to be people that come. There's going to be people that go. There's going to be people that stay. However they show up in your life in that season, you have to be okay with it. And you have to be grateful that they showed up at all, right? Because there are sometimes you need people in your life and they don't show up. You're looking for the person like, who's supposed to help me to do this? Who's supposed to help me carry out this dream? Who's supposed to help me carry out this purpose? Because we can't do it alone. But sometimes we're looking for the people, and maybe they haven't got the memo yet that they're supposed to be on your team. Maybe they haven't got the memo yet that they're supposed to be supporting you. Maybe they haven't got the memo yet that they're supposed to be a part of this vision and a part of this purpose that is much greater than all of you guys put together. But if they haven't got it, if they haven't got that download yet, if they haven't got that message yet, you may be waiting for them to show up, and they just ain't showed up yet. So let us be grateful for those who do show up, and even those who show up in their best, which may not be the best for the situation. Because I remember watching something with I think it was who was it? I think it was Steve Harvey. I think Steve Harvey was talking about something, and he was saying, I know what it was. He was talking about one of his friends who he hired in his early days to be his bodyguard. Right. And, you growing up, you got your homies, those who are big and tough. And so he's like, all right, I'll give you a job. You could be my bodyguard. Well, the problem with that was he wasn't trained to be a bodyguard. Right. So he was used to being big and tough. So whenever someone came up, he was like throwing people out of the way and slamming people out of the way. And Steve was like, whoa, you can't do that because now you're going to get me sued. You know what I mean? So yes, you showed up for me. You wanted to be there for me. But at the same time, the way that you're showing up is not productive, right? You're actually, causing more harm than help. But so there are going to be those people that show up in your life at that time who just want to be there. And maybe their presence or whatever they're trying to add to you may not be the best for the situation, but you still got to appreciate that they showed up for you, right? You still got to appreciate that they're there for you. And so again, just to kind of wrap it all up together, we're talking about being grateful today. We're talking about gratitude. And being grateful for the things that we have, being grateful when we wake up. Again, I woke up this morning with, just in a space of gratitude, and wanted to make sure that I was saying that I was thankful for everything that I've gotten, thankful for all that's going on in my life. But I wanted all of us to really take out the time to show some gratitude, to be thankful, to give thanks for the things that we have in our lives. And so I just kind of spoke on three things. We talked about health, waking up, being grateful for waking up, being grateful for your five senses, to be able to see, to be able to hear, to be able to smell, taste, feel, right? All of those things, to be able to take another breath, Again, taking in that deep breath and holding it and then letting it out, right? Just to be able to do that, allowing our body to take in all the oxygen and really to be able to use it, right? We talked about being in our right mind, being grateful that we woke up this morning in our right mind, especially in this climate of mental health, right? In this climate where, we're waking up and a lot of times we're stressed. A lot of times we're depressed. A lot of times we're thinking about, suicidal ideations, thinking about, losing it all or leaving it all behind, right? But when we're able to wake up and not be in those spaces and have a moment of clarity, even if it's the rest of our day is hectic, and once we get started, everything starts piling up, and then we get stressful. When we wake up in the morning and just those couple minutes that we have of clear vision, of clear, clear mind, clear thoughts, to be able to wake up in our right mind and just give thanks. Like, God, I thank you for allowing me to just this moment. Because I know once I walk out this door, the world is waiting for me. They're going to have all kinds of things that they're throwing at me. But this moment, I'm grateful that I can take a minute and breathe and relax and just be clear in my state of mind, right? So we were talking about health. So also we talked about work, being grateful for our jobs, grateful for the jobs that we have, grateful for our businesses that we're starting, right? Grateful for the fact that we can support ourselves, right? So we have some kind of means of supporting ourselves. Grateful for being able to pursue our dreams through our work, right? Being grateful for direction and purpose of the work that we do. Being grateful for our job being our first investor, right? Our job being our first investor, because a lot of times we take our jobs for granted, especially those of us who are in the entrepreneur space that are working to be better entrepreneurs. We oftentimes take for granted that we have to have capital to run our businesses. We have to have capital to get our businesses started. And our job is our first investors. You know what I'm saying? Like, it allows us, number one, to support ourselves. So we definitely want to be grateful for that. But then it also allows us the opportunity to chase our dreams by giving us some finances, by giving us some finances to put toward our dreams. So we definitely want to be grateful for that, and grateful for our co-workers and those that we meet at work that support us in the work that we do. Again, as being a tradesman myself, I'm definitely always grateful for those other tradesmen and women who are a part of our trade, and yet also the other trades that we meet on the construction site, right? Because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of hands that goes into building a structure of any kind, right? And so always grateful for those who show up to build, who show up to create these amazing buildings and structures that we get to enjoy, and have the pride to take pride into that finished product. So yes, being thankful for your co-workers and your friends. Then we ended up wrapping it all up, talking about the people that come into your life. Again, being grateful for our family and our friends, those who love us, those who support us. Also being grateful for those who we have allowed to come into our lives, right? Those people who have chosen to be a part of our lives. Again, I mentioned about this community that we are growing here inside the Deal Heal Fulfill community, but yet and still also the other tradespeople, the other people that I've met as a speaker, the other people that I've met as in the podcast space, the other people that I've met in the author space that are also writing books. So many different spaces that you meet, so many great people that come into your life and support you 100%. You have to be grateful for those people who love and support you, support your vision. But also, we talked about being grateful for those who choose to walk away, because we have to acknowledge that there is a time and a season that each person comes into your life, a time, a season, and a reason that each person comes into your life. And maybe that time is up, maybe that season is up, maybe they just have a change of heart, whatever it is, in their experience, that it says to them, okay, it's time for them to leave. We have to be okay with them leaving, because that just means that their time is up. Being grateful that they showed up at all, but also being grateful that at the time when it's their time to leave, that they choose to walk away in the right time, because there's nothing worse than trying to take somebody somewhere that they don't want to go. And at my age, I'm going to be 49 this year. We've all had children. We all have children or experienced children. When you're trying to take a child somewhere they don't want to go, and they're kicking and fighting, how much of a trial that is. So think about that in your life with the people who choose to walk away. When it gets to that season and time for them to walk away, think about what it will feel like trying to drag a grown adult person into another season of your life when they don't want to go, right? Or trying to drag them into a season of your life that they don't belong in, right? Separation before elevation. The higher you go, there's some people that you will have to leave at that lower level that you can pull up with you later. And then there are just some people that can't even survive on that level. And I'll end with this. We oftentimes I was told about the analogy of the crow and the eagle. And a lot of times the story goes that crows will always try to aggravate an eagle, and they will fly up and land on the back of the eagle while the eagle is flying. But the eagle stays calm, right? The eagle stays calm. He don't try to switch around and knock them off and fight them off. He just continues to fly. He just continues to soar. And the higher and higher he goes, he gets to elevations that the crow cannot survive in. He gets to elevations that the crow cannot breathe in, and eventually the crow will just fall off and die, and the eagle will continue to soar. So there are people in your life that just can't go to the next level that you're going to because they can't survive there. They don't like the environment. You know, we got some people, and let's just be honest, we got some people that grow up with us in our neighborhoods that we can't take in the boardroom. You know what I'm saying? We just can't. You know, as much as we love them, our family, our friends, as much as we love them, we can't take them to our jobs, right? We can't take them to the job picnic, we can't take them to the golf outing. We just can't, because they are not productive in those environments. And so as much as we love a lot of our friends, a lot of our family, a lot of our co-workers, as we elevate, there is some separation that must happen. Because again, in some cases, when we get to the top of that ladder, when we get to that second floor, we can reach back down and pull them up once we've successfully and safely made it. And then there are some people that as far as you go, that they just can't come with you, right? And nothing bad, not for no reason, not that you don't want them to come, but there are some people that just can't survive on the level that you're trying to go to, or the level that you're going to. There's some people that can't survive with you, some people that just can't live there, and some people that just don't want to be there, right? And I'll leave with this story. And I'm a speaker, so you guys know I'll be talking forever. So I know this is the second time I said I'm gonna leave with this story, but I'll leave with this one for real. This will be my last thing before we get out of here. I remember watching a podcast and listening to a gentleman who was talking about, as he was investing in real estate, he was growing and he was making a lot of sacrifices in order to get to the next level in his real estate journey. And there was a young woman who he was dating at the time, and she was uncomfortable with the sacrifices. And so what he asked her was, he said, do you want to be rich or do you want to be poor? And she said, I'm okay with being poor because I've been poor my whole life. So I'm okay with being poor. And at that moment, he had to make a decision whether he was going to go to the next level and try to drag her along, whether he was going to stay at the level that she was at and not pursue his dreams, or whether he was just going to go solo by himself and continue to fight. But he ended up walking away from that relationship and continued to invest in his real estate portfolio. And now he's a very successful real estate owner, right, with multiple doors under his belt. But there was a time he had to walk away from that person who just was comfortable on the level that they were on. So again, when it comes to time for us to separate, separation before elevation, when you go into that next level, it's going to separate you from some of the people that's in your life. Some of them you may be able to bring up, to pull up later. Some of them that, you can't pull up at all because they don't want to go. And some of them you just can't pull up because they can't survive on the level in which you are going to. All right. So that being said, I want to thank you guys once again for tuning in to the Deal, Heal, Fulfill community. Thank you, Keisha. I see that you've been locking in with me this morning. I definitely appreciate it. Guys, right now, make sure you guys go to the ebooks by ejames.com website. Again, it's ebooks by ejames.com because I'm giving away my ebook, Forgiving Me, the 4-Step Guide to Self-Forgiveness. I'm giving that ebook away absolutely free. So make sure you guys go to ebooks by ejames.com in order to get your free copy of the Forgiving Me ebook. And while you're there, make sure that you check out some of the other ebooks that I have in order to purchase, including the Core 4, which is the Core 4 values that every daughter should get from her father. That is a very good book that I personally, of course, I wrote it, but I really enjoyed writing it as being a girl dad, as having a Girl Dad Discussions podcast, and being able to talk to other girl dads and daughters about their relationship with their fathers. I think this is a very good book for mothers to have, for fathers to have also, and even just to have as a resource of what should your daughter be getting from her father or the father figure in her life. Again, that's ebooks that can be found at ebooksbyejames.com. And also to start your podcast now, if you want to start a podcast, that ebook is also there. But again, go to ebooksbyejames.com, get your free copy of the Forgiving Me 4-Step Guide to Self-Forgiveness. And while you're there, grab one of our other ebooks that we have available. So again, man, I just want to say thank you guys once again for tuning in to the Deal, Heal, Fulfill community. Do me a favor before we get out of here, hit that invite button, invite your suggested friends and some of your other friends who you think may find value in being a part of, being a part of this community. Also, those who are already in the community, make sure that you sign up for your Meet the Community interview so we can interview you and introduce you to the rest of the community so they can see how amazing you are and be able to support you in everything that you do. That being said, thank you guys once again for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys. I really love growing with you, and we are going to grow together on this journey of healing and fulfillment. Until next time, you guys be blessed. Bless you guys.